Welcome to Hometown Teams, where we build an NFL team's roster using only local players, and by local I mean in-state. Today we're looking at the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns, and we're going to have a background competition for which team gets to claim the rights to this roster, and the way we will decide that is by seeing where more players on this roster come from, Cincinnati or Cleveland. Now right off the bat with this team we actually have a missing position. We could not field a left tackle out of the entire state of Ohio. Nobody was there to play the position. However, to make up for that, we've got a pretty deep left guard position. And it starts with Jack Mewhort, who's out of Toledo and stayed in-state at Ohio State. Then we have Joe Tooney out of Centerville, who went to North Carolina State. And to finish off the position, we have Andrew Norwell out of Cincinnati, went to college at Ohio State as well. Then at center, we have Jason Kelsey out of Cleveland, stayed in-state to go to college at Cincinnati. At right guard, we have Alex Boone out of Lakewood, stayed in-state as well to go to Ohio State. And then at right tackle, we have Zach Strief out of Cincinnati, who went out of state to Northwestern. Moving on to the tight ends, we start with Kyle Rudolph out of Cincinnati, who went to college at Notre Dame. And then we have Travis Kelce out of Westlake, who went to college at Cincinnati in-state. Starting off the wide receivers, we have Ted Ginn Jr. out of Cleveland, who went to college at Ohio State. Then our next receiver is Nate Washington out of Toledo, who stayed in-state to go to the Division II Tiffin. Then our third and final receiver is Cecil Shorts, who's out of Kent and went in-state to Mount Union in Division III. Our running back is Le'Veon Bell out of Reynoldsburg, who went to college at Michigan State, first guy to cross that borderline. Then we have our fullback Kyle Juszczyk out of Medina, who went to college at Harvard. And then our quarterback is Ben Roethlisberger out of Lima, who stayed in-state to go to college at Miami. And that completes the offense. And even without a left tackle, you see this team winning quite a lot of games. So moving on to the defense, and it starts off with Kurt Coleman out of Dayton, who went to college at Ohio State. And then we have our first true alpha hometown hero, Donte Whitner out of Cleveland, went to college at Ohio State. Now wasn't drafted by an Ohio team, but he did go to the Cleveland Browns in 2014, and that's good enough to count. Then at right outside linebacker, we have James Harrison out of Akron, who went to college at Kent State. At left outside linebacker, we got Whitney Merciless out of Akron as well, who went to college at Illinois. And then at middle linebacker, we have Avery Williamson out of Cleveland, who went to college at Kentucky. But ahead of him, as we will be playing a 4-3 scheme here, is Luke Kuechly out of Cincinnati, went to college at Boston College. And we got all the way down to the defensive line before we have a guy who wasn't born in state. We got Frank Clark, born in Bakersfield, California, went to high school in Cleveland, went to college at Michigan. Then we have Jarrell Worthy at the defensive tackle position out of Dayton, who went to college at Michigan State. And then our left end is Derek Wolfe, who is out of Lisbon and went to college at Cincinnati. And let's keep the Broncos theme running here with Aqib Talib out of Cleveland, went to college at Kansas. On the other side, we have Eric Rowe out of Cleveland as well, went to college at Utah. And playing nickel for us is Micah Hyde out of Fostoria, who went to college at Iowa. And that completes this team, and it's not a bad looking team whatsoever. We have a pretty good 3-4 scheme going on here. The defensive linemen fit, the linebackers definitely fit. We got some veterans, you know, in a couple of positions, Kurt Coleman, Donte Whitner, James Harrison, and the wide receivers might not be the strongest position group I've ever seen, but it's not bad. And to resolve the competition, Cleveland wins out. 6 players born in Cleveland compared to 5 born in Cincinnati, so this would be the team of the Cleveland Browns. We're starting to come to the end of the states that can field full rosters, but there's still some big time ones to come up.